Surya and Venala are standing on top of office building and near a lake respectively, wanting to commit suicide. It is shown that 12 hours before Surya gets up with dream of car accident and answers his friend's call asking him to reach office early as he was late for music director interview to be hosted by him. He gets an unknown call which he disconnects and also gets food from an unknown person. He gets call from another person asking him to participate in some competition. However, he gets lost in his thoughts about his father and about to meet with an accident. However, nothing happens. During the interview, Surya insults the music director and gets insulted by his manager, who happens to be his father's friend. The manager says that him being adamant about music was the primary reason behind his father's death. Meanwhile, at Venala's house, the groom and his family have come to see her. She tries to cancel the marriage fix in order to follow her dreams. However, it turns out that the groom wants to marry her. Also, her father wants her to get married as she is unable to clear entrance exam for the past 2 years. She assures her father that she will pass the entrance test this time. It turns out that she has failed in the mock test because of the reasons. Each of them wants to commit suicide. Surya decides to message someone that he is going to commit suicide. Confused by whom to message, he messages himself. The message is received by Venala and they start to fight as to how the other person is sending message to their own number. In this confusion, Surya aborts his plan to commit suicide and his friend also comes to his rescue. Venala gets call from her father saying her grandmother had had a heart attack. After a series of confusion and conflicts between the two, they become friends with conditions. One of them being that they should not meet each other. One day Venala comes across one of her friends that she was cheated by her online boyfriend who has asked her money as help and he never returned. So she decides to meet Surya at Clock Tower, to which he agrees. Both reach the place. However, the place where Surya happens to be has strong winds while that of Venala happens to be sunny. Though Surya explains this to Venala, she does not understand. Surya gets an umbrella from a kid and reaches home and calls Venala. Venala, feeling cheated that Surya wanted to get money from her, answers the call and starts to fight. During the fight, Surya asks her to watch television wherein news mentions cyclone. However, Venala tells him that news is all about Telangana agitations. To which Surya responds that separate Telangana state has already been declared on February 18, 2014. Then he realizes that Venala happens to be in 2014. When she confirms the date to be February 14, 2014, while he is in 2019. Venala feels that she has been cheated by Surya. However, she gets surprised when separate Telangana was announced on February 18 as the same Surya had said to her. She asks Surya to come to Clock Tower and wants to know any other incident which has happened on that day to confirm that they are from different timelines. Unable to figure out any incident, she scribbles on the bench where they both are sitting in their respective timelines. Which Surya confirms both of them try meeting the other person in their respective timelines on the advice of Venala's grandmother, but to no avail. Time passes and their friendship blossoms on one day. Venala proposes to Surya while sitting on the same bench, to which Surya says that he never had feelings for her and that he may not love any person as he was rejected by the person whom he loved. Venala gets angry on him and cuts the phone. She gets proposed by an unknown person and she slaps him and rejects his proposal. The unknown person happens to be Surya. Venala and her grandmother start drinking thinking about her rejection. Meanwhile, Surya calls Venala to find out if she is all right and explains his story, where he reveals about his life and how he fell in love, him getting rejected by his love, getting drunk, and his father's death. As her father wants to finalize marriage, she says that if she does not clear the entrance test, she will do as he says. Her grandmother comes up with an idea to get the answers from Surya in 2019 for 2014 exam. Venala passes the exam with All India rank 87. Though her father is impressed by her, she feels guilty that she has cheated, to which Surya asks her to disclose the same to her father. Surya, on his father's death anniversary, gets multiple calls from Venala. When reverted, he realizes that Venala can save his father and guides her to the place where his father was found dead. It happens to be that his father died saving Venala, who was being kidnapped by some thugs. Venala realizes the same but loses her phone during the tussle. She tries multiple times to meet Surya. However, she is unable to, as the nature keeps stopping her meeting him. Not knowing any of this, Surya of 2019 tries contacting her but to no response, as Venala has lost her phone. Venala's grandmother tells her that the nature does not want her to meet Surya, and Surya in future does not have Venala by his side. Surya, remembering one of the interactions with Venala, goes to lake side where she keeps wishes in letters under Lord Rama idol. He reads one of those which has his father's last wish and finds the guitar which he loved as a gift. Surya decides to participate in music competition where he performs well. Meanwhile, Surya asks one of his friends to find out what has happened to Venala's number, as B is unable to contact. His friend tells him that since the number was disabled in 2014, the same number was given to Surya. She also mentions that Venala has died in a car accident on the same day as his performance. Looking at the newspaper, Surya understands that Venala is none other than the person whom he proposed. Surya of 2014 receives his father's belongings and comes across Venala's mobile phone and calls the last number. Surya of 2019 answers the call and realizes that it's Surya of 2014 on the other side. He guides Surya of 2014 to reach Venala and save her from her impending death. However, Venala's car meets with accident. Surya, dejected, goes to the clock tower. He finds Venala standing behind him and they hug each other. It is shown that Venala sees one of Surya's friends and gets out of the car before car is met with accident. She explains that she left for higher studies after listening to her grandmother, and since she came back, she tried meeting him, but every time she tried, there's some harm to his life. One of which happens to be the incident shown in the beginning. She mentions that she was always around him, as she is the one who used to order him food daily, and also she is the one who gave him umbrella. She also mentions that she waited for the day she lost her mobile phone in order to meet him, and that happens to be the day of his performance. They understand that whatever has happened is nature-driven and are brought together after each of them has fulfilled their goals.